Awesome. Okay. Welcome to your Pilates together. All we need props wise, oh, I'm going to take my headphones out. All we need props wise is a moving space, obviously. And then if you want any extra layers like blankets and stuff, we're going to do another sort of like hodgepodge of stuff. So I think it's nice to kind of get up out of our seats. So you're going to need a pathway in front of you. And I'm going to be not super specific, and then I'll get more specific as we go. So you're going to step your left foot forward. You're going to come up onto your back right toes. We're going to bend into your knees a fair amount, you'll see. Squeeze into your glutes, and then you're going to kind of like tip your pelvis forward so that your arms can reach up, and I want you to have a nice big stretch through that whole front part of your body. And then we're going to adjust our feet so that you can change the stretch. So now the left leg is going to straighten, flex those toes up to the ceiling, tip your bum back, and go for a nice reach the opposite way, this time getting a little more through the glutes, through the hamstrings, and opening through the chest. As we inhale, adjust those feet again. You're going to kind of bend, kind of lean and reach, reach, reach. That's your inhale. And then exhale to switch. Inhaling up. Now I like this to not be like super, super precious. And then exhale back, because we all sort of have different mobility ranges. We're also then working in that front knee thing. Remember, we did that last week where we're bringing our knees over our toes a little bit more. We're going for 3. And back. 4, 2. I kind of forgot about this one. I pulled it out of the archives this week, and I was like, oh yeah, feels so good. Last one, inhale up, really make sure you're squeezing that right bum cheek, and then take it back, and then we'll bring it in, we'll shake it off, and we'll go the other way. So this time you're going to be stepping forward with the right foot, and I'll stay on my same plane so that you can get the chance to see both sides. When you're ready, setting yourself up here, bending into your knees. Think about squeezing your glutes, scooping that pubic bone forward, and then we reach up. And my hope is that you can really kind of let the shoulders go open through the front of the belly, in front of the hip. That's your inhale. When you're ready, switch your feet so that your right toes go up to the ceiling, hamstring stretch here. And then inhale. So the width of your legs, exhale back, is kind of up to you. It's wherever you're going to feel the most stable, where you get the bend, where you get the knee joint support, right? That feels good. So we're not just weight bearing down in our joints. Let's go for 2. And back. Last one. And back. When you're ready, bring it up, give it a shake out, shake out, shake out, shake out. We're going to step the right foot forward again into the left leg, and we're going to take those arms forward. Bend in a little bit in the back knee if you want to, a little bit in the front if that feels better for your pelvis, but it's certainly not like has to be that way. Arms are going to be forward. You're going to feel like you're drawing a bow and arrow. So right arm is going to sort of follow the left across the chest, twist and open. From here, it's going to lift up and around and back forward. We're going to draw that bow and arrow, twisting through your chest, trying to keep the hips forward, and then take it all the way up. Now, if you want to add to this, you're going to bend into the knees as you twist, and then press to straight as you lift up and around. And my hope here for us as we start to get a little more fiery, yeah, this will require more of the legs, is that we get a little more rotation, a little more lift and movement every time we visit this. Let's go for 2. You're still firing through those back bum cheeks. One more time, nice big fascial chain movements here. Up and around. Step in, shake it off. I'll face the other way for us for this one. Left foot forward, right leg back. Let's just take a nice breath in together. And exhale out. I know that I needed that. Okay. Left foot forward, arms are coming forward again. Maybe a bit of a bend in the knee to adjust the pelvis if you would like to. Left hand is going to draw along the right, across the chest, open and twist, lift up and around. Wow, that's so much harder for me. Rotating around. I really, really love exploring these movements from one side to the other because I feel like it just sort of shows us, right? Like I right now tend to be more right dominant. I set up my computer to the right of me a little bit. So I need a little more mobility to the left. When you're ready, we're going to bend into those knees if you'd like to add that on with your twist. Lift up and around. and down. Hugging the legs together, rotating to reach. That also gives us a chance to start to warm up that rotation, which requires obliques. Up and around. One more time. Up and around. Nice job. Step it in, shake it off. We're gonna come down to the floor. We're gonna work into those side glutes pretty much right out of the gate. So options, I'm gonna grab a pillow. Options for us. If you wanna bring the floor up a little higher to you, we're gonna go to the left side first. Grab a pillow, grab a block, something that's gonna allow you to have the floor a little closer. You could always completely ditch that and come all the way down to the floor, or you could lie all the way down on your left side. Okay, it's all gonna be doable from these shapes and spaces. So we're gonna side bend it over your top right arm. Right hand is gonna come behind the head, and we're gonna ever so slightly press back. And when we do that, I kind of want you to feel like the same thing is happening with your rib cage. They're drawing in as well. That right leg is really nice and light. We're gonna lift it up. Inhale to tap it down. Exhale to lift it up. We're just like really getting into it right away. And lift. And down. And lift. So wherever you are, whatever version you are at, we want to feel like those right toes are reaching so far away from us that we're keeping the hip bones really nice and stacked, that we're pressing into the head, drawing that rib cage in and down. If you're keep moving, if you're lying on your side body, that right arm can reach up to the ceiling. It might be a little trickier to have it behind your head here, so feel free to reach it up. You could also place that hand on your hip. And I'm hoping sooner rather than later, right into the side of that bum cheek starts to chit chat. We're gonna lift and down. We're gonna lift and down. Let's go for 5, 4, spicy, 3, 4, 2, we're gonna hold that leg up, lift it up. We're gonna bend it in as much as you can, squeeze into that hip flexor, and then we're gonna reach that leg through center, back diagonal. Bend in and squeeze, 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 and then reach it back. I don't know about you, but I had one of those mornings where I like woke up and I was like, I'm gonna be productive today. I have a whole bunch of work I have to do. And then I got like very irritable very quickly. Like the second I sat down, I was like, I don't want to do this. And I've been really looking forward to knowing that we were going to move together now. And it's really a chance to, like, if you've had a similar morning where there's things that you just kind of, or similar day where you're like, oh, I just don't want to, kind of taking that and bringing that energy here. Last one. Reach that leg. You're going to take it beside you. We're going to little circle. Not that you don't want to do this, but that we're like, yeah, I have extra fuel for my fire, to clarify. For 4, for 3, for 2, last one, other way, 8, 7, 6, 5, side bum, 4, you've got it, 3, 2, last one, bring it down. Let's press ourselves all the way up. We're gonna squeeze, 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 wiggle, wiggle, and then come all the way down onto that left side. So all together, we're gonna melt down here. We're gonna take that. How do I wanna get us into this? We're gonna take the top arm. You could do it either way. I just wanna set you up for success here. So top right arm is gonna reach overhead. Bottom arm is wrapped around the waist. I have a bent left knee to start. Long top leg. We could adjust this, yeah, and I'll sort of build this with you. We're gonna take a breath in to be here. As you breathe out, keep reaching that right leg. We're gonna curl up. So it's a little bit of a squish in the right side of that waist. Inhale to open. And you could bring your hand behind your head here if you want to. Inhale down. Exhale to open. Well, I guess not open, it's more of a squeeze. That bottom arm could come long. And we lift. Both of your arms could come long. You could take both of your legs and squeeze them long as well. We're gonna go for 5. We're gonna go for 4. This is such a struggle for me as well. For 3. If you're a neck tension person, give yourself little breaks. Yeah, this might not feel fabulous. For 2, squeezing into that side waist, whatever version you've picked. Last 1. Can you hold, squeeze, 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 squeeze? Gently release. Just open your arms overhead. Nice big breath in here. And exhale out. Round 2. So if you enjoyed being on the floor in a variation of that, right, then stay there. That's where you're gonna stay. If you want to explore bringing it a little more upright for a little bit more range, we're gonna be kneeling on that left leg. Right leg is gonna go long. Your toes are gonna point forward along the long part of my mat. I'm gonna squeeze through my glutes. Let's place the right hand down on the right leg. Let's take a nice side bend over. And then we're gonna bring that up, and it's up to you how much of a side bend you take here. You could just go sort of along the left thigh, or you could bring that arm down. We're gonna think top side of the waist as we come all the way up. Press that right foot into the floor as we sweep it over. Let this be nice and calm. Let this be your opportunity to sort of weed out any extra bits of tension. Remember, on the way up, press the right foot. You might be like, oh, I feel how that's now an oblique moment, right? We took it from the floor, we brought it up. One more round of these side bends. You could always place a blanket under your knees. Again, you could always just kind of be on the floor doing a little twist. And then all the way up. So if you were a floor oblique person, we're gonna start to prepare to go into that version we just did. If you're a kneeling upright person, we're gonna take that left arm, we're gonna wrap it around our waist, right arm up to the ear, press the right foot into the floor, squeeze the glutes, zip the quad. We're gonna inhale over, 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 and then think right outside of the waist to bring yourself up. Now, it doesn't have to be far, right? You know your range when you've lengthened as much as you can, and you can still keep that right foot into the floor. Fire the glutes, right side of the waist to bring ourselves up. 3 more. You could still totally be doing this from the floor. Exhale, think low belly as well. For 2, if you want to add 2 arms here, you can. But again, remember, it's that top foot, that right foot that's pressing into the floor. One more time. Inhale, over, over, over. Press into that foot. Exhale, come all the way up. Let's bring the legs in. Maybe give yourself a zhuzh, grab some water, maybe kind of rub it out, yeah? Let's do the second side. Let's just like go there right away. So we're going to start with the glutes. You could be kneeling upright, remember, you could be lying on the floor. We can bring the floor closer to us by popping a pillow or a block, whatever you have. Or again, you could be all the way down on your waist. I'm gonna come to my fingers. So left arm up to the ceiling, hand can come behind the head. We're gonna ever so slightly press back. We just wanna make sure that the head doesn't migrate forward. And also think about collecting that rib cage in as well. Making the left leg nice and light, it lifts up. Inhaling to lower, exhaling to lift. Inhaling down, I'm just gonna scoot a smidgen. There we go. Exhale to lift. So watching to make sure that head isn't pressing you forward, right? The hand is there to make sure that you can feel like you're pressing back into something. That's going to help us recruit through the backside of the body, right? So like posture muscles working here, my back working to support, underside obliques, right? They're working as well because we're not collapsing into that bottom arm. Keep moving. If you're a side lying person, you're still getting the benefits of those things because we're still not letting the waist collapse to the floor, right? We're keeping the top of the hip nice and long, stacking the hips on top of each other, and then lifting that left leg up, yeah? So whatever version feels the most reasonable, that's where we wanna go. And you might be like, none of these feel reasonable. And I'd be like, that's totally fair. We're going for 4. Are we feeling through that thumb? For 3. It's happening. 2. Last one, lift it up. Okay, we're gonna squeeze that knee in, get some nice hip flexion there, and then press it on a backwards diagonal. Inhale to squeeze, try to avoid curling in for today, and then exhale, out and back. If you're still resting on that right hand, we wanna make sure we're not snuggling right and collapsing right earlobe and right shoulder. Squeeze it in, working through that glute and back. Inhaling it in. If you're on the floor, also still trying to be parallel to the floor with that leg. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. Gaze can be where you need, as always. Last one. We're gonna take that leg, we're gonna bring it parallel, little circles. 8, 7. Notice I'm keeping it up the whole time. For 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, other way. 8, up and around. 7, it's happening. 6, so spicy. 5, you've got it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, give it a zhuzh. And then we're coming all the way down onto that right side. So this is kind of like a funky floor side oblique situation, like definitely. So I move through them quickly because I don't want to be down for too long. So I'm starting with my right knee bent, top leg long. I'm gonna take my bottom arm out of the way and bring my left arm on top. I'm gonna take a breath in, and then as I breathe out, I'm gonna lengthen out and up to crunch into the side of the waist. I'm trying not to let the hip bone collapse too much. Inhaling it down. You could always bring your hand behind your head. Exhaling to crawl. Inhaling down. Exhale up. You could always switch your arms, so it's actually your bottom arm lifting with you. Could be 2 arms overhead. Could be, here we go, 2 legs. Might need to leave 1 arm on the floor here. Let's go for 2. Last one. Lower it down, give that a break. That one can be a little necky, so know that I know that. If you want to stay down on that option, you're going to stay down on that option. If you'd like to explore bringing it up, just gives you a little more range. You can pop maybe some blankets underneath your knees. You could technically also do this from standing. Yeah, you could be doing like a one of these. I'm sorry, I didn't get that to you on the first side. That's another way you can totally do this. So right knee is on the floor, left foot is pointing forward. We're thinking about zipping up through the glutes, through the quads. Let's slide the left arm along the left leg, side bend over. And if you have any residual tension holding on, we want to let that go. And then as we side bend to the right, it's your choice to go as shallow as you want. If you want to come all the way down, you can. Obviously, the further down you go, pressing into that left foot, top side of the waist is going to bring you up. And then we get to take a more relaxing, maybe side bend. Over to the right. Really press into that left foot, right? Like it can't hover up off of the floor. That would be super, it'd be super fun maybe to try. But for today, let's nix it for today. One more time with these nice kind of calm, sort of like finding that first range, that shallow range. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna take that right arm, we're gonna loop it around our waist. Left arm is up towards the ceiling. You're gonna inhale, 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 inhale. Keep the left foot nice and rooted. Top side of that core brings you all the way up. As you inhale, if you're an on the mat person, this is where we start to really add in those little side crunches. If you're a standing person, you could be doing one side, you could be doing both sides. Yeah, there's always a way. I apologize. Being one body, I can only show so many things at one time. You could add 2 arms here if you want to. We have 3 more from that top right oblique. For 3, know that your erector spinae muscles, the muscles that sort of like weave all the way up your back, they have partially why we can really think about strengthening the whole entire body in one exercise. Last one. Nice job, team. Bring it in, give it a little shake. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can kind of see what's happening through my shoulders. So we're going to inhale it up and exhale around. Again, we're going to inhale up towards the ears and exhale around. One more time, inhale up Exhale back. Let's go the other way. Inhale back, up, forward and down. I'm hoping if you had any sort of like tingling neck leftovers, that doing this is going to help to relieve it. Nice job. Shake it out, shake it out. Let's flip onto our backs. I'm warm. Are you warm? I'm warm. Let's come on to our backs. Arms can reach up to the ceiling. We can give those arms a nice good squeeze if you would like to. And we're just going to play with our pelvic placement a little bit here. So starting in what I like to call home base or neutral, where your hip bones and pubic bone are as level as possible. Yeah, and we might find that at rest, like for me, at rest, my low back wants to scoop to the floor a little bit more. So just working on leveling it out. We're going to inhale, over arch it. So as you inhale, can you try to create as much space under your low back as possible? So if you had like a cup of tea on your pelvis, you would be spilling it forward. And then as you breathe out, you're going to think pubic bone to belly button, scoop and hollow. So now you're pouring your cup of tea into your belly button. Inhale, as a little housekeeping note, as you're doing this, try not to use your glutes. We're going to go for 3, just sort of mobilizing through our pelvis here. We're going to go for 2. One of the things I've been finding is that working on my pelvic stability requires a lot more attention right now than it used to. And I think that might be because, right, we're at home a little bit more. Coming back to center, again, find that sort of place where hip bones and pubic bone are level. You're going to squeeze the right hip up towards the right rib cage. And then you're going to let it go. And then the left hip is going to squeeze up and then let it go, which might feel like, oh, I don't know, we never do that in Pilates, right? Like often we're trying to keep our pelvis stable, but today I want to give you a bit of movement here. That's sort of, if you notice, like classes transition a little bit these days. So we're working all of those things. Let's go for 2, one more to the right. Last one to the left. Nice job. If you need to do a little shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle, you totally can. Arms can be up towards the ceiling. Give them a squeeze. You're going to try to level those hip bones out as best you can. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to scoop to the floor, press your feet down, start to roll and lift your hips up one vertebrae at a time until you get to the top of your shape. We know that we don't want to overarch here. We want to think long line through the front of the thighs. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to slowly try to massage the spine one vertebrae at a time to the floor, eventually releasing back to that neutral. Inhale to be here. As you breathe out, scooping through that low belly, press your feet into the floor. You're trying to find each vertebrae make contact as you move here. Lifting up, lengthening, taking that breath in, hug your heels to your glutes. As you breathe out, scoop, tuck in, roll again. See if you can actually feel each vertebrae as you move here. Let's go for 3. So we're taking this as a warm up, checking in with our hamstrings, with our glutes, with our backs, and also mobilizing through that spine, Inhaling, exhaling to take your time, press those feet down. Now the height of your hips is up to you, right? Like you might feel safest not being up quite so high. And that's part of the fun, right? Is we get to pick and choose and play. If you can, looking up to the ceiling, last one. Beautiful. Now those hip stuff that we did before, we're going to play with here as well. So feeling your feet pressing in, squeeze through your glutes, really hug your heels back towards your bum cheeks, as your knees reach forward. Now without moving your thighs, we're going to let that right hip spin towards the floor, squeeze and lift up. Left hip is going to spin without moving the thighs, right? So we want to make sure that they're not collapsing with us just yet. They are going to move with us in a second. Right hip rotates, left hip rotates. And so what I hope we start to notice as we're playing with this, right? And you could also be closer to the floor. That's absolutely perfect as well. But what I want us to notice as we're doing this is that we can move the hips, right? Like we can isolate without the thighs being involved. This is like one of my favorites, especially if I know we've been sitting at home. Let's go for 3 because I feel like it just really evens that pelvis out. For 2, and 2, last 1, and 1. Hold it here, take a breath in. As you breathe out, gently roll your spine down. You're gonna walk your feet a little bit closer to your buns. We're gonna keep our hands down to start. Taking a breath in as you breathe out, scoop through that belly, press your feet into the floor, lengthen, roll, and lift your hips back up into that bridge. Now from here, can you super press into your left foot? Start to get a little bit lighter on the right. You're just gonna maybe hover it and then put it down. And then super press into your right. Roll up to the toes of the left foot, maybe give it a little hover, and then put it down. And we're just gonna do, it's not a tabletop lift. You'll notice it's really just like a little hover of that foot, and then we pop it down. And as you're doing this, can you notice the response in your pelvis? If one side rotates or collapses, we wanna keep, again, those hips as level as we can. Working into your core here a little more consciously will definitely help. Keep working the glutes. And again, if you want to lower your pelvis, if that feels like a happier place for your back, please feel free to go there. Now, if it's working well for you and you'd like to reach those arms up, that's always, oh, my hips can't do it, an option, yeah? One more to each side. It's hard not to let those hips move. It's always the left. Once you're even side to side, roll all the way down. Now, my hope is that we haven't stressed out the low back so much that we need a little windshield wiper. However, if you do, please take it. I'm gonna sneeze, I feel. It passed, but if I sneeze, this is my warning for you that it's coming. Okay, we're going to expand on that. So I'm laughing, smiling, because I know just how exciting this is gonna be. Feet are pressing into the floor. Hands are going to be down beside you. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, roll through that belly, then fire the glutes and lift to a height that feels reasonable for you. Yeah? Somewhere where you know you can engage the back of the legs, the glutes, work that pubic bone forward without stressing out your low back. Okay, we're going to keep, our goal is going to be to keep our hips stable the whole time. You're gonna get really heavy into the left foot, maybe hover your right foot, and maybe that right foot steps forward like a little bit. And then you're gonna super press into your right foot, which is hard because your hips are, like your feet are different now, and then step your left foot to meet it. We're gonna do maybe one more, breathe in. Press into the left foot, step your right foot forward a little bit. Keep those hips level. Super press into the right foot. Let the left foot meet it. Press into those feet. The right foot's going to step back a little bit. Keep pressing into the right foot. The left foot steps back. Hold it here. When you're ready, right foot walks back in towards you. And then press in the right, left foot. Breathe in. As you breathe out, roll all the way down. Inhale. As you exhale, scoop through the low belly. Now remember, the height is up to you, right? Like I definitely feel sensation through the back of my pelvis as I do this. And also that's not a bad thing, right? Because we know that our muscles wrap around our body. So as long as it's not aggravating you, then I don't think that that's bad. Like for me personally, I don't think we need to shy away from it as long as it feels safe. When you're ready, you're going to super press into your right foot. Keep those hips as stable as possible. Left foot goes forward just a little bit. Doesn't have to be huge. And then press into the left, right foot steps forward. Left foot is going to lead the way again. Goes forward just a little. And try not to rock side to side. Press into the left, right foot steps forward. Okay, step into the right foot. Left foot comes back a little bit. Press into the left, right foot comes back a little bit. And then one more little step, both feet. Bring it in. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, roll it down. We're going to do that one more time. I'm going to give you a second at the bottom to like shake it out. So the goal is wherever our hips are when we lift up, that's where they stay as we tap in and out, right? So again, if your back was like, I hated that, bring it further down, right? And you can still practice pelvic stability, walking your feet out with your hips on the floor. It just becomes more of a core exercise. Arms could also reach up. They can stay down. It's up to you. Here we go. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, scoop through that low belly. You're lifting to your height that feels reasonable for you. Remember, hands can stay down. That's totally an option. Hips are going to stay level. Press into the left foot. The right foot takes a little step forward. Keep the hips level. Keep them as they are. Left foot steps forward. Press into the left, right foot, little step forward. Press into the right, left foot, a little step forward. Then press into the left, right foot comes back a little bit. Press into the right, left foot comes back a little bit. One more time, press left step right, press right step left. Right away, second side, breathe in. As you breathe out, step left foot forward a little bit. Press left step right. Whoo. Press right step left forward. It's like a fun twister. Press left step right forward. And then we come back, press right step left back a little bit. Pelvic stability, press left step right back. One more time. And also hamstrings, right? I know I haven't said that explicitly, but I'm pretty sure you feel that. Breathe in. As you breathe out, come all the way down. Super nice job. If you want a little windshield wiper here, you can. If you want a little knees to chest here, you can too. If we can make sure that we have lots of room south of us to move these legs, that would be really fabulous, please. Can we take a nice big breath in together and exhale it out? So we're going to find that nice home base of a pelvis as best as you can, hip bones, pubic bone level-ish. You can always bring your hands to your hip bones or fingertips to hip bones, thumbs to rib cage, like truly anything that's going to help you sort of map out your structure here. We're going to inhale in through the nose into the backs and sides of the ribs. And we're going to exhale out through our mouths, blowing that breath away. Inhaling in through the nose into the backs and sides of the ribs. Exhaling out through the mouth. Good. Keep practicing. As we do that, we're specifically starting to send our exhale energy to pubic bone to belly button, that sort of like fleshy low belly space. And every time we inhale, we're allowing that pelvic floor to be a little bit softer. Yeah, allowing there to be room for expansion. And then as you breathe out, we're thinking about collecting our energy, collecting our musculature and drawing up without squeezing. Yeah, and without sort of like hardening into my abs, right? I don't want us to wind ourselves here. We're gonna get nice and light. You can go light on your heel actually, so your toes are on the mat. Keeping your hips as level as possible. You're gonna breathe in. As you breathe out, can you draw a line with your toes away from you or your heel away from you? Quick inhale. As you exhale, pull that right leg in. Same thing, breathe in. As you breathe out, slide the right heel or right toes away from you. Quick breath in. As you breathe out, draw it back in. Keep going here. Purpose of this is to sort of see, right? Like if we have a tendency to want to wobble or wiggle or adjust, right? Like up or down, that little up towards our rib cage moment. We want to really try and stabilize through that pelvis. Once you feel like that's going well, you can start to get light on the left foot, maybe even bringing that left leg to a tabletop, which you will notice then requires way more of your abs. Breathe in, exhale, leg draws in. I want to be really intentional that we're not scooping back into an imprint here, that we're trying to keep as home base-ish as possible. As soon as I lifted that left leg, my pelvis was like whoop, all the way over to the left. Let's go for 3. Exhale to slide. Breath in. Exhale it out. Oh gosh. For 2. Maybe the leg doesn't even fully straighten, which would be totally fine. Exhale to draw it in. One more time, breathe in. As you exhale, slide it out. Inhale, exhale to pull that leg in. So you're either on your right toes or your right heel. Left leg is in a tabletop type place. Maybe the shin is dropped, maybe it's lifted. Hands are going to interlace behind your head, taking your breath in, letting your head be heavy in your hands. As you breathe out, nod your chin and curl up. And from your ab curl, I just want you to be able to take a look and see if your pelvis is sort of like doing anything funky. Yeah, can we find as much of that home base alignment as possible? Inhale to lengthen it back. Exhale, nod your chin and curl. Inhale to take it back. Exhale, nod your chin and curl. And so as we're doing this here, keeping that nice neutral pelvis and also letting your head be heavy in your hands. If you want to add some arms to this, inhale, your arms can reach back. Exhale, they can press and they can kind of work as it almost feels like leverage to pull you up maybe a little bit more. Inhale, legs are staying as they are. Exhale, nod, press, reach. We're going to go for 3 here. We're going to go for 2. So this is the deep work, yeah? Where we're not sort of like tossing our bodies around in space, last one, but we're working the stuff that's going to keep us stable long term. You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you can lift that right leg up to meet your left if you would like to. You're welcome to keep it down. One hand can come behind your head. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to pulse the arms down for 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in this case, I'm just pulsing my right arm. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. And what I want you to really think of is keeping that pelvis nice and stable. Yeah, you might have 2 legs lifted. You could always extend them. But remember, your pivot point here, your sort of marker for where you're moving, comes from keeping your pelvis stable. 2 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, and press. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. 2, 3, 4, 5, and press. 2, 3, 4. Hold it here. Breathe in. And then exhale it down. Nice little massage across the low back. I'm going to spin around so you can kind of see another angle on this side. Oh, it's that deep, deep ab work, yeah? All right, so we're setting ourselves back up, finding that pelvis as level as you can. Big breath in. Breath out. We're going to get a little bit lighter on our left, either toes or heel this time. Inhaling, and then as you exhale, very lightly slide that leg away, only as far as you can go without your pelvis wobbling around. Quick breath in, and then exhale to draw it in. Inhale here. As you exhale, we slide. Breathe in. Exhale, slide it back in. Inhale. Exhale to reach. Interesting, right? The information side to side. Letting your head, your neck, your jaw, your sternum, your collarbones, all this upper body stuff be as gentle to the floor as it can be. Notice if your eyes are gripping or your forehead or your jaw. Can we let all of that be a little more easeful? Oh, I've got such a spiral. I'm sure we all do, right? Have different spirals, but it's just so fascinating, like how hard it can be to do something as simple as keeping your pelvis level. If this is going well, you can add your arms up towards the ceiling. You could also start to get light on the right leg so that that right leg lifts up to a tabletop. So much focus. Breathe in, breathe out. Now I'm making sure, breathe in, breathe out. That pelvis doesn't move. Inhale as you exhale. Now, when we're doing this kind of work, like I said on the other side, this is the deep work, right? Like this is the stuff that stabilizes your pelvis, that stabilizes your spine, that your transverse abdominis is what sort of like our first encasing in our abdominal system around our organs. So we don't want it to be firing at 100%, right? Because we don't want it to be over tight. So as you're moving here, notice if you're like tensing your belly, it's like a faux sense of musculature working, and see if you can find some experimenting of trying to almost keep the top of the belly, the top of the skin a little bit softer. so that you're not tensing through your rectus abdominis and your deeper transverse has a chance of firing. Let's go for 2. Breathing in. Exhale to pull that leg in. One more time, breathe in. As you breathe out, reach it away. Inhale. As you exhale, pull the left leg in. All right, we're leaving right leg at a version of tabletop, left heel or toes on the floor. Hands can come behind your head, leveling off that pelvis. Inhale, let your head be heavy in your hands. As you breathe out, nod your chin, curling up, and give yourself a cheeky peek. Really make sure those hip bones are as level as they can be. Inhaling to come back and down. Exhale, change your mind, curl it up. And I sometimes find it helpful to think back body here, to think about how my posterior parts of my rib cage are engaging with my breath and engaging with the floor. So if they're like stuck, right, and we're just squeezing through the middle of the belly, maybe not as productive as inhaling through the backs and sides. Ooh, that was my shoulder. And then exhaling to feel like the back ribs are sliding back and down to curl us up. Inhaling back, exhaling, keeping those hips nice and level. Now you could always lift this left leg up as well if that feels like something you want to do. I'm going to keep my left leg down. You could also add the arms so they press and reach. Inhaling to lower. Exhale, knowing that lowering is never actually a break. We're still trying to maintain a percentage of tension here. I would say like 50%. Let's go for 3. Giving my snake plant a little high five for 2 as I move here. One more time. Exhale it out. Okay, if you don't have reachy arms, left hand is going to reach this time. Right hand can come behind the head. Maybe your legs are at table. Maybe they're lengthened. We're going to pulse down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. And out. And inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep curling as you are here. Keep stabilizing across the pelvis. Breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. Let's do 2 more. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep checking out that pelvis. 2, 3, 4, 5. And come all the way in. Really good job. Give those knees a little snuggle into your chest. Maybe a little rock around the hip joints. And then however you'd like to get there, we're going to roll onto our side and then onto our bellies. If being belly down doesn't feel fabulous, I will give you another option. Don't worry about it. So we're going to kind of starfish in our movement space. So if you're on a mat, you're going to open those legs out so that they're mat distance apart. You're going to open your arms so that they're mat distance apart. And then you're going to bring your head down. Maybe it feels kind of nice. If you'd like to place a pillow at your head, like I know I don't always feel super great with my head resting. So please like add whatever comfort you need here. I'm going to ask that you keep your forehead down like this as best as you can. I'm going to be popping up so that you can hear me. I don't want it to just be super muffled. So housekeeping, as much as we're sort of like belly flopped onto the floor, can we start to engage through our legs? So we are externally rotated. We're zipped through those quads, through the glutes. We're trying to scoop our pubic bone towards the floor as opposed to sitting super heavy in our hip bones. However, I don't want you to lose the hip bones completely. Like if it's possible to still think about like a little bit of a relationship, that would be really fabulous. I love like a little happy medium spot. Reaching out through those fingers. We're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, keeping your head down, you're going to lift your right arm up to float off of the floor. Doesn't have to be high, and you're just going to hold it here for 3. And the longer you're here, try to soften the space under your earlobe. For 2, for 1, and then lower it down. Breathe it in. As you breathe out, left arm is going to lift and hover for 5. Same thing. 4, you're going to try to soften underneath your earlobe and sort of shine your armpit to the floor. 2, 1, lower it down. Now without moving your pelvis, keep your head, your arms down. Can you lift your right leg to hover off of the floor? For 4, and again, try not to let one side of the pelvis get heavier than the other. 3, requires deep abs here. 2, Lower it down and then over to the left. Little hover without trying to shift the weight of your hips. For 3, for 2, for 1. We're going to do that again, starting with the left. Breathe in. As you breathe out, left arm is going to lift. Hold it for 5. You're trying to feel like almost like your arm is being pulled out of the socket without super snuggling up to the earlobes. For 3. It's like the outside of the left armpit is trying to lead the way. 2, 1. And then the right arm is going to lift and hover. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. This time your left leg is going to lift. Float it up for 4. It doesn't have to be high. 3, in fact, it won't be high. 2, lower it down, and then the right leg lifts to hover. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. All right, we're going to add all those together. So your head is going to stay down. We're going to lift the right arm and then hold. We're going to lift the left arm and then hold. Now from here, can you lift your upper body up just a little bit so your head is floating up off of the floor? You're looking straight down parallel. If that's too much weight for your mid back, you can squeeze your arms in a little bit closer, okay? We're here for 8, 7, root those legs. 6, scoop through the belly. 5, activate your glutes. 4, radiate through the arms. 3, think outsides of the armpits. 2, lower down. Press it back. Now I know I said I have another option if you don't want to be kneeling or if you don't want to be on your belly, and I totally didn't get there fast enough. We're going to do one more round. Round 2, I'm going to do our second option. So if you felt really happy being on your belly, you're going to stay on your belly, okay? If you want to come up, you're going to come up. And you could do this standing, yeah? So we're going to set ourselves up the same kind of posture you would want to feel on your belly. So if you're a belly person, you're turning those legs out and externally rotated and long and engaged. If you're a standing or kneeling person, you're going to set your knees right underneath your hips, firing through the glutes. Think of that low belly. Wherever you are, you're going to take your right arm. You're going to reach it out and forward. So if you're a kneeling or standing upright person, you're just going to reach that arm up. If you're a floor person, you're going to add your left arm. If you're a kneeling or standing person, add that left arm up. And if you're a standing upright person, I just want you to really lift and reach, softening your collarbone, trying to connect your rib cage in towards the center of your spine. Low belly active. If you're a floaty, hovery person, your head is floating, hovering with you there. We're here for 4. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. And lower it down. Wherever you are, if you'd like to take a little stretch through the spine. Inhaling here and exhaling. When you're ready, come all the way down. We're going to add something on. So we're going to bring our hands back out into that nice, like long belly flop position. This will be our sort of last active piece here. If you loved the legs being externally rotated and wide, keep them there. If you'd like to start to close them in a little bit more parallel, potentially squeezing together, feel free to go there. Toes are going to be pressing into the floor. Quads are going to be active, glutes are going to be on, all those things. And then you're going to bring yourself down. And again, if you don't want to be on your belly, I have another option for you. We're going to start the same way. So lift the right arm, lift the left arm. Lift your head, and then we're going to sweep those arms down. Now, as the arms are coming down, it's almost like they want to clap behind you. And now, obviously, they can't, or maybe you have really long arms and they can. I don't actually want them to clap. I just want you to feel that energy lifting you. As you inhale, you're going to open those arms out. Don't mind my left arm. There's just no room. As you open out, you're going to reach that right arm long, look down at the floor, but stay hovered. As you breathe out, rotate thumb down, squeeze your arms like they're going to give themselves a little clap behind you. Inhale to open out, palm faces down. Exhale, rotate in, reach out and up. Inhaling down. Exhale to squeeze. Now, if you are a more uprighty person, you're going to take those arms out beside you, palm down. And then you're going to, again, like they're going to go on more of an angle behind you. Inhale to open out and then rotate. You could also rotate palm forward if you wanted to, and then in and back. You could bring your torso on a diagonal. Then you could always go up overhead if you wanted to, but we're keeping it a little more sideways. Yeah, inhaling and exhaling. So lots of different options here. We're gonna go for 3, please. We're gonna go for 2. Last one, we're gonna meet with those hands reaching behind us. You're lengthened up into a little bit of a higher mid-back lift. If that feels fabulous, stay there. Housekeeping though, we're not super pressing into the hip bones. Again, we're trying to find pubic bone and hip bone alignment. Firing through the glutes, through the quads, press your toes into the floor. We're gonna pulse our arms back, 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 back. Good, squeeze the arms, squeeze the arms, squeeze the arms, squeeze the arms. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, reach, 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 and lower down. Take a little melt. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to press into those hands, bring ourselves all the way up. If you feel happy taking a wide kneed child's pose, so your knees will come to, or your toes will come together, sorry, knees will come wide. We're going to reach those arms forward. If you don't love this, you can always go onto your back if you would like to. Bringing your knees into your chest. Taking a few breaths to calm down. If you don't want your head on the floor, you can always bring your hands in as a bit of a support. Nice, calm inhales, exhales. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to walk those arms over towards the top right corner, you can. Feeling the left side of your body, take a bit of a stretch here. Inhaling in, exhaling out. And then when you're ready, walking those hands through center over to the left. Feel your right side draw back. Ooh, she's tighter on the right side. Inhaling and exhaling. What's kind of nice about these classes being recorded as well is that if you wanted to break it up, right, if you only had chunks of 10 minutes or so, you could always just do one sort of series and then just do the next sort of series so that you kind of have a chance to play, right, with whatever it is you want or need. We're going to come seated on our glutes, please, on our bends. We're going to reach the right arm up and back and around and place the arm back behind us, and then the left arm up and back and around. And then we're just going to kind of press and lift. You could always bring your legs in if you wanted to. You could always let them go long if you wanted to. I just want you to kind of like in a really free to me kind of a way without me being too precious, is just like press, 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 press. And then to get out of this, walk your feet maybe a little closer or bend. We're just going to roll to the right. Come all the way around. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale down. So you can find yourself in a seat. If you had that extra sort of prop handy, you can always scoot yourself up on it. You can always come to kneeling. You definitely don't have to look like I do. We're going to walk the left hand over towards the right thigh or knee, right hand behind the right hip. We're going to sit up nice and tall, breathe in. And then as we breathe out, we're going to rotate around to the right. So lots of amazing work today. We worked deep into the center of the body and also into some mobilizing, and there's a difference between mobility and flexibility, right? And I'm extra rampagey about it right now because a lot of people I know are getting prescribed by medical professionals yin yoga, which I'm like, not everybody agrees that that's always the best case. So if we can find strength and range, that's what we want to do. Yeah. That's what I encourage anyway. Take one more breath in. As we breathe out, come back to center. Give yourself a little wiggle. Let's go to the other side. And also, like, as much as I make bold statements sometimes, whatever feels best for you is always like that, I think, trumps everything. Inhale up tall and then exhale, depending on your goals, right? Seeing little is not working for me, so I'm just gonna stop. But it's a very interesting, I actually did a post on Instagram about like yin yoga versus restorative yoga. It had some really cool feedback. When you're ready, come back to center. If there are any other little wiggles or movements you would like to make to close out your practice, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, inhale, we're reaching those arms up. Exhale down, give yourself a squeeze. Thank you so, so much for being here. I really appreciate our time together, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.